Hello everyone, and I cannot believe another month has passed. Well, this is April, and we're doing our Kansas City Star quilt along. And this month, since we've been working with fairly simple blocks, I'm doing 2 blocks. And this video is the first block, discussing the first block this month, which is a 9 patch and a 9 patch. This is the pattern. It was block 1604 in the Encyclopedia of Quilted Pieced Quilt Patterns or something like that from Barbara Brackman. But here it is printed out in the grid with colors and the 9 patch and a 9 patch. And this is going to be sort of a long video because this is such a wonderful and powerful block. And as I said, I work with 3-inch finished squares, which would be 3.5 cut, because you get so many options. So this would be 3-inch finished, 3-inch finished, 3-inch finished, 3-inch finished. This one would be 3-inch finished, which then it makes it 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, which is 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches. So we need to add our 1/2 inch for seam allowance. So each one of these would be a 1.5 inch square, which fits perfectly in the bigger block. And I want to spend time on this grid and keep it simple, because once you understand it, it's like any quilt is possible as soon as you see the grid layout. So here's my finished block, and as I have said, I am working with Amanda Murphy's Shot Cotton line from Benartex in charm packs, which are 5-inch. And this was cut 3.5, cut 3.5, cut 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, with the Maywood 10-inch layer cake, or whatever they call their 10-inch squares, because I think layer cake is a Moda thing. But these were 1-inch finished with the same, so they would be 1.5 inch cut squares. And this is the block. And I really, really like this block. I think a whole quilt made out of these in a scrappy look would be just absolutely phenomenal. But what I want to show you is the power of this block is if you put these, which I know you've seen this block before, the 9 patch and a 9 patch. I know you've seen this block before. This is one I made. I ran out of this white fabric and I can't find anything to match. And I got all these blocks, but not enough to make the quilt pattern I was working on. So I've been trying to redesign it, and I still haven't come up with the design. But you could take multiple of these, and we'll move this up, and then we'll add, and you can create a chain, which is a more modern version of the Irish chain. These are all 1 inch, these finished with 3.5 inch or 3-inch finished squares. But then you can come up with, after you finish that, but if you want a more dense, you can. This is a 9 patch and a 9 patch, but it's all the 9 patches laid out together instead of having a solid block. It has a 9 patch in all these blocks. So it creates this checkerboard. Well, if you put 2 of these together, you could make, or 4 or 9 of these, or whatever. You could make a beautiful center medallion of a quilt, which is quite cool. But also with these blocks, you can maneuver them around and make borders, which I have here. And you can turn them horizontal or vertical like this. But if you wanted to, you could actually turn a corner by putting one here, and then you turn the corner using this almost same block and create borders, unique checkerboard patterns. You could do so many things with this 9-patch and a 9-patch. I mean, it's endless what you can do with this block. It's absolutely amazing what you can do with this one simple 9-patch block. So that's what I wanted to show you. And we go back to our original block here, which we are making for this month. It's just a simple 9-patch and a 9-patch with the single 9-patch in the center. But you could make these any size. It's easiest, I find, working with 3-inch blocks, because then you have the 1-inch to do the other things and such. But you could use this one is 9 inches finished. Right now it's 9.5. But you could do 2-inch, 2, 4, 6. You could do 1-inch, which would be this in these corners. But the issue is, when you get to these smaller blocks, you do not want to go under a 1/2 inch finished. The reason is, then when you fold your seam allowances, they overlap, because you have a 1/4 inch on each side. So if you take a 1/4 inch off the left and 1/4 inch off the right, 1/4 inch off the bottom, you've overlapped the inside of your block if it is smaller than a 1/2 inch. So I tend to stick with 1-inch piecing. But I'm really starting to enjoy the colors of this fabric. I've never been a really scrappy person, but I'm really enjoying it. And again, here's the grid layout for this. Simple 9-patch and a 9-patch. And as long as you keep your blocks the same size, you don't even have to do any math. You know, if you want to work with 4-inch blocks, fantastic. 5-inch blocks, then this block would be 15 inches finished. But it's up to you what you choose when you see these grids, and you don't need a pattern. You don't need anything. You don't need to buy anything. You just need to print this picture out and make this block in whatever size block you prefer. If you prefer 2.5 inch jelly rolls, which are great. So these would be 2-inch finish. So it would be 2-inch, 2-inch, 2-inch. And then this would be 3/4, 1.5, 2.25. So you'd have to cut it down to make it work. That's why I like working with the 3-inch, because suddenly it becomes 1-inch squares, which are easy to deal with. So I hope everyone has a great day, and tomorrow I will show the second block this month, which is very similar to this, and I think it turned out great. So everyone have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.